There is only a finite amount of water on our Earth, and it just keeps changing shape, form, moves to different parts of the planet. There's never been any more or any less than there is now. That always blows my mind. This is Donabate Beach, and I painted lots of beaches in Brittany and around the beautiful coast of Ireland. But I have to say, I'm very lucky. So close to where I live are the most beautiful beaches. It's the usual, it's only when you go away you realise how lucky you are what you have at home. It's literally in this beautiful, idyllic February morning, where it couldn't be more clement to paint. Even in this, the light and the colour of the sea has changed in the last 15 minutes.
When I was in my studio here in Hope, if I was to look out the north window, I'd see right up the Cooley Peninsula, and maybe some mornings I'd see the light glinting off the mountains of Mourne in someone's house, and I would see it in the studio in Hope. And then at the east window I would see the coast of Anglesey, the coast of Snowdonia Mountains, 80 kilometres over the horizon. All those years absorbing and watching the sea, and you understand the history of what that coastline was and what it meant for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So I really had a duty not just to paint a lemon in a bowl.
I suppose it's an important part of, you know, life in Holt. Every family in Holt will have some connection to the sea. Sometimes we take it for granted a bit, you know, that there is so nice and there is a lot of beauty in it. My name is Ken Doyle. I'm running Ireland's Eye Ferries. Ireland's Eye Ferries has been in the Doyle family for 4 generations. We started back with my grandfather in 1947, and it was also one of the years of the great snow, so similar to this year we had a very bad snow. And the story is that himself and my father, who was only 16 at the time, wasn't my father then, went fishing in their small boat, had to scrape the snow off the engine and went out to Dublin Bay to fish, and they got into difficulties. The boat started to sink and they had to set fire to the boat to attract attention. They were rescued by a boat from Arklow. When they came in, my grandfather said, well, that's the fishing finished. And he bought a boat and started trips to Ireland's Eye. Myself and my brothers ran the boats with my dad and my granddad over the years. And now we're at this stage where we're still running the boats.
Yeah, lots of people are very surprised when they say, like, well, why are you in Dublin and why are you not in a place like in the south of Spain or somewhere in Brazil? Or the spot of Dolimont is pretty amazing, and it has everything you really want. My name is Catherine and we're here today at Pure Magic Water Sports in Dublin. We're a team of French people who started the business 12 years ago. The kitesurfing would be our main activity. That's the activity we started with. It was only the beginning in Ireland. There was not much done at the start. You know, there were only a few kitesurfers on the bay. And now if you come on a busy day, a sunny Saturday, you will see that it's getting very popular. It's getting really big and there are more and more comers into the kitesurfing. We came here with François 12 years ago. So that was the starting point of Pure Magic. We both had a really good view of Ireland because we both studied here. And the country really appealed to us straight away. When I first came to Ireland, I didn't know what to expect. It's quite similar to where I'm from in Brittany, but I was really, really impressed by the good welcoming of the people, the whole good vibe.
In the past, it would have been, a lot of Dublin people would come out to Hope for their holidays and, come to Hope for the day, and, so it would have been less and less tourism. But with, as you can hear, the Ryanair people overhead, they bring a lot of people in. Tourists know about it. I'd say no matter what time of the year, a day doesn't go by that the phone doesn't ring. Is the boat running today? People are interested in the island because there's a lot of history to it. You have the Martello Tower here behind us, which is one of 23 Martello Towers that were built along the coast. The other thing that's of interest on the island is just behind the beach there, there's the ruins of St. Nessan's Church, and that was a monastery in the 5th and 6th century. The interesting thing about the church is the monks, they did a version of the Gospels in the same format as the Book of Kells. People who were interested in that come out to see the church. And then, as you can hear in the background, all the birds, it's a big place for a colony of gannets and puffins and guillemots and all sorts of wildlife during the summer. But it's very popular with bird watchers. And then you have the beaches, which are popular just for people to come away, out from the mainland, bit of peace and quiet, and have a picnic and spend the day. I suppose it's just because you're on the outdoors, what's not to like, and then you get to meet people, you get to chat to people, you get to talk to all sorts of individuals, and when they go away happy, then you're happy as well, I suppose.
It's true that the temperature are maybe a bit colder than other places, but the spot of Dolimont is pretty amazing, and it has everything you really want. It's a really long bay, so it's about like 5-6 kilometers of beach. There's no accommodation or no people sunbathing on the beach, so lots of space. It's pretty shallow, so the depth of the water is not too high. If something happens, you can stand up and relaunch the kite. So Dolimont is the perfect spot. It's definitely the busiest spot in Ireland because of the location. It's very close to the city, but there's lots of space. There's a very good atmosphere. You arrive on the beach and you're welcomed in a very friendly environment. You spend a lot of time to chat, so there's a very good community. We are lucky to be able to enjoy the conditions on the east coast in Dublin and then going to the west coast as well. Ireland is quite a small country, but it's full of spots, so wherever you travel, you'll find a nice little place to enjoy the sport. I think we are very lucky to do our job. I don't say that it's the easiest. I don't know what people experience during their day, but we have the advantage of living from our passion, and we are lucky to share the passion with passionate people who are like really willing to learn a new sport or to share a really good session in the water. From being in the shop or teaching paddleboarding or being kite surfing on the water, I have to admit that it's a good feeling, because if you're like, your head can be a bit like that sometimes, you finish your day, you're like, oh my God, I need some fresh air. You go in the water and then you just feel good again.
Up till then, I'd been painting for about 14 years in a studio, in a solitary way. And I always wanted to explore going out doing plein air painting, just to add a whole other angle to my work. It's a place where people go for a walk on their own, reflect on things. People who are lucky like me, who lives beside the sea. It's very easy to take these things for granted because so many people don't. You know, I'm very lucky. This is my office. The sea it's an endless resource for me. I'm very lucky.
Come